Hello and welcome back to Skull and Bones. Right, today we're covering the Helm sovereigns and pieces of 8. When you first get the Helm, we'll just quickly cover that. We're not going to cover it because they will do it for you, but essentially they will show you the supply network and then possibly the distillery, and then what you do with it once you finish that is the registry order, and then once you've done that they will get you to do a takeover. Now when you do that takeover, if you're not a PvP oriented person, don't worry, it's a takeover for one. You will only have to, it'll only be you in there. But where it will be could be anywhere. It'll be somewhere, obviously in the Red Isle. So it'll be one of these. Mine was this one here. That was my very first. No, it was that one. That was my very first one, and then I got the rest of these, and then eventually I got that one. I think I actually didn't get that one that far afterwards. I think I might have unlocked this one first and then that one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Your aim is to get, or my aim was to get all of these, and this is what I'll be doing on the next season. This was kind of a practice run because obviously I started quite late, but hopefully I'll get to start, well I will, I'll get to start with everybody else, and hopefully if you're starting now, so will you, because it doesn't take that long. You do kind of need a plan, and my plan was essentially hasn't changed very much since, even with the update. It just means I get a little bit more, obviously it'll take a little bit longer to do, but it's not, when you're first starting out, it doesn't hurt you. The only ones it really hurts is the 10s, because it didn't make it cheaper for them, it didn't give them any more, but it did make it well, it takes a hell of a lot longer to fill up your 10s than it did before, which is pretty much I mean, I had some 10s when it started. That's how come I know I had a half of Herifu. Yeah, I had this one, was tier 10. That was my priority when I got it, and the price didn't change as far as I'm aware. It still costs about 44, but depending on, obviously you need your Helm table upgrades, and we have a few of those. Let's go over towards the upgrades. So we have all of this stack, and we have this stack. This was for the takeovers. You don't necessarily have to worry about this. This one is very important because of all the buffs you get inside. This one is very like laboratories by 60%. Not quite sure refinement time. So yeah, that's when you're reproducing for your sales. Refinement time again. Amount of pieces of 8 offered by your delivery. So they're obviously quite nice as well. And then the other one which I did, which I don't know that I'm going to be doing next season. I'm going to probably do that first one because I did this one first, and then I went and did the first one last, and then the second one third. if you can follow that. But next season, I think I will be laying off this one just to see how the manufacturers go. We don't know yet. If you look up in the top right, we don't know whether I'm going to get all my pieces of 8 reset and the sovereigns, and the sovereigns is my end goal for the Helm, and how you get them is by collecting these, and that is shown in through the leaderboard, and your aim, or my aim, was to get the diamond, and it didn't take that long to get there, and I wasn't like I was going full at it. I didn't do every manufacturer. Even though I went out and sourced them, I didn't fund them. I funded a select amount, so the Red Isle got funded, and then a select amount in Africa, which we'll have a look at now. So how I've first did it is I got all of these to tier 2 when I first started, and that was before the update. Now that's even more important because you get 100, and it's only an extra 1,000 in running cost. It's not an awful lot more. If we go over to, we've got a tier 1 here. If we go to fund it, it costs 800, and the tier 2, no, we don't want to fund that. Oh, it actually costs a little bit more than it did. So it used to cost 1,000. So yeah, it's not an awful lot more though, but you get 100 rather than no, I want to get rid of you. You get rather than the 45, and obviously when you're getting when we're starting off in the next season, we're going to need to produce the pieces of 8 to get the upgrade your new factories to where you want them to be. And for next year, I think I'll be getting the Red Isle first, and I will be getting them all over to tier 5 or tier 4. I think to start with, until I've got some of the upgrades done. Tier 4 is 500. These are 1,000. They take about a day, but I have a lot of the upgrades to reduce that time down. even though we're not getting the percentage, we're only getting 7% rather than the 55 we were getting before. It takes about a day for these to, well, it's just, I think it's actually just over a day because of this one here. It's a little bit slower because it's a 4 and it's not got any trade routes coming off it whatsoever, so it's a little bit slower than the rest. Unless of course you send delivery to it, which I never do. I just let it roll out. And then this one takes about 2 days, but there has a few slow ones in here as well. But some of them have got nice bonuses, like for the territory, which is 30% if you look at the top of the screen, just around here. And when you come into Africa, you get a nice 40%, which is why I ended up funding these ones, because I wasn't going to do that before until I noticed it's got its own 40%. So that one actually, even though it hasn't got as many trade routes, in fact one of them actually has got a decent amount of trade routes, but the other ones haven't necessarily. They still produce at a decent rate. And I think the second run, which is the 10 run, so I'll start from here, come across, up, and then back down. So it's almost the same as it was before. That would produce 66,000. Whereas the run on the bottom, which is 10 factories, all at 1,000 each, obviously produces 10,000. So that's 73,000 we get every time we do the full run. But I always do it in 2 bits. I don't always worry about this. In fact, I haven't done this one for a couple of days because I'm saving it for the reset. And this one finished off this morning, so I knew that one would be ready. So I waited until the run. What I'm going to go do in a minute is I'm going to go and do the first part of I'm going to do the long run, because that will get me the weekly leaderboard score that I'm after. So once you've finished this one, and you'll get most of your sovereigns from this as you let, and all you've got to do is collect your pieces of 8. I can't show you how much you get, but I know the very last amount you'll get from it is 1,200, and then the tier before that is 1,000, and then I think it's 800, possibly 6, and it works its way down. But that is pretty much my goal for the season, is to get into this diamond rank, and that completes the sovereigns for your seasonal for the seasonal event. You've still got the leaderboard, but I'm not worried about that. And then once you've done the seasonal, I start doing the weekly one, because you also get more sovereigns. You don't get as many, but you'll get about 500, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Might not even be 5. In fact, I don't think it is 500. It's possibly, you'll be lucky if you get 2, but that's 200 you wouldn't normally get a week. And with the run I currently have, it will get me to tier 5, which is the maximum tier per week you can do. I did a legendary hunt yesterday and got 300, so I started it off. If I do the bottom half of my run, which is just the tier 5s, which is 10,000 gold sovereigns, not gold sovereigns, pieces of 8, sorry, that will get me to tier 4. So I'm going to find out today where the 63,000, so the top half of my run, which is all the tier 10s, where that will get me. So I'm going to go off and do that, and then I'll see you when I get back. Right, so we've just done the run. We're just about to bring it in. We should get 63,000 pieces of 8. I'm hoping that will get me to tier 5. If not, I know by doing the complete run that will. But hopefully this will be, so 63,000 will cover you for the weekly. So you don't need to get like loads and loads and loads of pieces of 8. You really don't. Especially if you're a casual. I mean, you see all the 99.99. Right, so that's diamond. Yeah, we've already got that. It's the next one we're interested in. It might take a little bit of time to come up, but let's go and have a look. Oh, hang on. I've been playing Planet Crafter, so it's you have to shift to run rather than this just run. So let's go and see what we can buy once it's showed hopefully what it is. So once we get our sovereigns, and this is the reason we're doing all this, because that's where all the nice bits of gear are. So I'm have a look at that. Yeah, so these are from the last video. These are the bits that we so it's the Wilm's breath. That's what it was. I couldn't remember what it was. And then the auger mechanism. Oh, it's just happened. tier 5. That's it. 63,000. Get 230 sovereigns a week, and that's pretty much all you need to do. So the extra 10,000 pretty much is just whether you want to do that or not. But even if you just have the bottom part of the map, so you just have, and you have the map similar to what I've, let's come out of this. Let's go into the map quickly. So even if you only have these will get you to tier 4. So chances are the next day when they're ready to pull, they'll get you to tier 5. I would imagine, if they can get you that far. If they get you more than halfway, then they'll probably take you the rest. Or you can just do something like we've got up the top here with all the 10s, which is the one we just done, to get 63,000, which means you get nice pieces of 8. But obviously that's the end goal. So now I've finished it. I haven't got to doing any more work with this. I may at some point unlock this just to do the next takeovers, which I can do anyway. I did. That's what I mean. I did a legendary yesterday, which gave me 300 pieces of 8. Because once you've got everything unlocked, you get to do them all over again. But you get 300 pieces of 8 each time you complete them. So whether you do a takeover, in fact, the takeover might even be a bit more. I haven't actually done one since I've completed it all. I'll have to go back and check that it's the same, but I'd imagine it's the same 300 pieces of 8, which isn't a lot. But I don't mind doing it for that. It's something to do when there's nothing else to do. And a lot of people are hitting the wall at the moment. I've noticed there's a lot less videos popping up. I mean, I have, because the holidays. So you've got to get a little bit creative, which is something that may be popping up next week on the channel, if it doesn't turn out to be a completely stupid idea, but we shall see. So let's have a quick look at the store, at what the sort of things, well, for me, is the pieces of currency that I wanted. So all of the nice bits of furniture, so rigging station, I use that a lot. But you can't get the blueprint for it. It's 400 sovereigns, and some of these as well. This is, I think, this is one for where you mark them with the twin ballista, which is up here, I believe. There it is, which is also sovereigns 400, which is I think one of the best ranged weapons in the game. The damage it does. The Dardanelles, another one. Yeah, I don't actually want to buy any. There's 350 sovereigns. So yeah, all of the really nice bits of kit. Also, we come down to the there's also there you go. You can buy a monkey. I think I unlocked him somehow, or maybe I did buy him with sovereigns. I don't know. I have got him though. Black Prince armor, the other armor I rave about, 450 sovereigns, and the Rueful Ward, which is a PvP armor because it's for the. We can get it. Where do I want it? I want it there so I can get to the stats, which gets rid of crew stamina. PvE content. PvE, the AI don't have stamina. This is a PvP oriented armor. So if they're close to you when they're shooting you, so if they're using the high-powered, low-range weapons, then chances are they're going to have to be within your range, which means they'll be inside that dust cloud, which will deplete their stamina quicker. 3,000 poison damage and depletes crew stamina, and has a cooldown of 10 seconds, which isn't a great deal really. Mind you, if you're in a PvP battle surrounded by players, that might well be a long wait. But some of the really nice bits of kit, and if you like the cosmetics, there's plenty of those as well. In fact, I actually bought some, but that is I'll explain more about that later, I suppose. But some of these I actually quite like. I mean, it's a shame you can't actually see it on the ship. Can't actually see what it looks like. You got to kind of imagine it. But maybe if you look in the ship, do you know what? You could probably look it up in the ship, right, or in the menu. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not buying it. And we've gone up on the seasonal, and probably go up on the weekly leaderboard, but again, not worried. It's the sovereigns that we're worried about at taking. And for this week, I've done it. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Anything I do from here on in is purely for whether I want to or not, frankly, and whether if I fancy it, I'll do it. but we've got other things to do. We've got that boss to do. There's a new boss and there's new Lepest. So anyway, until the next one, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.